Okay, guys. Hey, I want to welcome everybody to our Wednesday night on or Tuesday night on Wednesday. We normally do this on Tuesday night. It's building beautiful lives, but tonight we've got a special guest, and we wanted to make sure we could accommodate her and her. We'll call her better half. She can
Yes.
decide if that's a good introduction or not. And I know. You can change it all when you go through it. But I wanted to introduce Arlene Picard, and sorry, I don't,
Derek.
but and her husband,
Derek.
and they have been working. Monate, she is a stylist, used to be behind the chair full time, all kinds of uh, hair product credentials. I guess she's going to tell you more about, and we're going to hand it over to her. She's got an incredible story about how she got involved in Monate and what she's been doing. So let's do that and hear what we had from both of them.
Thank you, Aaron. Great host, great host. And actually, I just wanted to thank you for asking us to speak because I only met Aaron a couple weeks ago. I've met you before at past events way back in the early days, and like you and Roxy definitely made an impression on so many people. And this is in our room. This is if you don't know Roxy's story and Aaron's story, have a little looky loo. It's on our little magnet board, but it is a daily inspiration too for us. So a little bit about me. We have 4 questions to share our story, which was what was your life before Monate? What made you decide to get involved with Monate, and how has your life changed since joining? And where do you see yourself going with it? So, for me, before Monate, I'm a 25-year hairdresser, trained at Vidal Sassoon in London, and I also worked at the British and London Hairdresser of the Year at the time. So that guy was named Nicky Clark. So you can look up those names, and when you look them up, you'll know that they're high-end hair salons, right? So they charge a lot of money. They deal with high end clients. Most of the clients at Nikki's were in Hello Magazine. Like it was really, really a very busy salon. Then I came back to Vancouver and I worked at another high end salon. And then I was headhunted for Tony and Guy, and I ended up being the head technician at that shop. And if you can imagine, to be a hairdresser in the 90s, and I actually worked so much. I was working about 12 to 16 hours a day. I was also an educator. So I really was on top, and I'm one of those people that likes to research products and stuff like that when I had the time. But we were working so much that I was making 6 figures a year as a hairdresser in the 90s. So that is a lot of hair, and I did not have lunch breaks, and I did not have pee breaks. So if anyone who's a blue collar worker knows how hard that is to make 6 figures in the 90s as a hairdresser, you can might maybe have a little bit of an appreciation for how much work I did, and I was bloody exhausted. So what I did was I actually got a little bit too much. I ended up leaving, and I actually ended up opening my own salon, which was, I always tell people about it. So I have a picture of it. I don't know if you can see it, but it was a boutique salon in South Granville. And it was before barber chairs. I had art on the walls. It was custom stations, everything. And it was truly exclusive salon. It was great. But then I ended up getting evicted on the 3rd year because they put the building up for sale. So my dream salon that was ergonomic and everything, it just all went shattered to pieces. And then I ended up chair renting because that was the quickest thing I could do, because it's a lot of money to rent to start a business. And so in that time, I met my hubby, or at the time, second hubby, dating him online.
Yeah, I'm the second. So.
Online, but this is why we love online. We actually met online. And then he moved us to Barcelona. So there, I was not allowed to work. So that I've worked ever since I was 13. And to add to my story, I come from a very entrepreneurial family. My dad's a very successful entrepreneur. He was on TV as well, but like the long story short of that is he had that mindset of just do it. Like you can do anything, just put your mind to it, get creative, and you can figure it out. So he was always about working smarter, right? Working smarter and always having a plan B. So then we moved to Barcelona.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about me. So I'm a 25-year IT guy. I started as a programmer. Over the years, worked my ways up to being an IT director. So I'm used to leading teams, 25, 30, 35 people,
Business degree.
implementing systems, running large systems. I worked in internet gambling. I worked for companies, banking software. I did a company called Vistaprint. I was with them for a while. So I worked with a lot of big companies on a lot of IT adventures. My background is I have an honors Bachelor of Commerce, managing information systems is my major. So that's what got me into the career. So we moved over to Spain in 2010 for my career. And that's kind of when Arlene was told that she couldn't work. And so it was kind of a nice break for her. She had 5 years over there when we decided to have a child. And so we had the ability for her to be at home mom, raising our child. She wasn't able to work, which stopped her and slowed her down in her tracks because she's a real hardcore go-getter. And it just kind of worked well for our life at the time. So then back in 2015, things kind of dried up in the IT market over in Barcelona. And so we basically had to make a decision on what we were going to do next. And that's what brought us back to Vancouver. And I'll let Arlene kind of go.
Yeah, and that was I have another add to my stories. I have an identical twin who actually used to get me involved in other network marketing companies because she was always looking for something. So I would get dragged into different companies. So this last one was a skincare company. And while I was working while Derek was working as a full-time 9-to-5er, an absentee father.
Not 9 to 5. It was 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. And then I'd get calls overnight because I was normally in charge of the operations side of things. Yeah. So when systems went down, I always got a phone call any time of day.
I say 9 to 5, like sort of he had set hours, but yes, he was definitely a long hour and he missed out on a lot of our child's life. And it was brutal, right? Because you just want to be together as a family. So what happened? What happened after that? Oh, she as I was working that other company, somebody found me on Facebook, hairdresser. And this was my upline, Pila Kapitanakis, forever grateful for her and have to shout out for her. But she basically said, would you like to try this science-based hair product line? And so I was like, yeah, send it over. So she sent it over. And actually we were camping at the time when I had the sample. So I tried it and I was really impressed with the quality and the science behind it. And again, I'm a researcher, very hardcore researcher. So I will look up the scientists. I'll even look up the testing facilities and all this kind of stuff because I'm very skeptical of direct selling companies, right? Because we've been inundated as hairdressers. So that's what kind of got me involved. Do you want to talk about when you got involved?
Sure. I'll talk about skeptical too. I hated any network marketing company out there. Anybody who ever tried to talk to me about a network marketing company, I just immediately walked out of the room. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear it. And I'm like the worst person, the most skeptical to any network marketer.
We fought a lot. I remember fighting a lot too.
Well, she told me in Barcelona that we're going to move back to Vancouver because I want to join this network marketing company. And I'm like, no way. That is not happening.
Because we were living La Vida Loca in Barcelona. It was amazing, actually.
And I eventually lost that argument. And I'm glad I did because it literally changed our lives.
Yeah.
So we came back to Canada in 2015. And then at that point, I got another IT job and Arlene started doing that other network marketing company. And then she got introduced to Monate from there. And then do you want to talk about what happened after you got introduced to Monate?
Yeah, because as a hairdresser, I did notice through my actual salon that a lot of people were not buying from me when I actually had retail, right? So this is kind of an interesting note that I have a picture of it. Like I actually took a picture of the drugstore and I even started researching. I went into other stores to see what the heck's on these big box stores. And can you see this? This is one store. You should recognize some of these products, right? And these are products that should be in professional hair salons, and they were on the drugstores. And you can see it. I challenge every hairdresser to go to any big box store, especially traveling in the US, and see if the product companies are actually backing up the hairdressers, right? Because many are not. There are some that do, and they're not just Monate, but there's some that do. But Monate really has changed the game. And a lot of the companies, a lot of these massive companies are literally copying and doing what's now called affiliate linking, which is kind of what we do anyway. It's all by referral, but they do it in a different way. They label it really nicely. So it makes it sound really good to the hairdresser. But, I have found since being involved in this company, I have never had so much recognition in my life Like anybody in this company who is a hairdresser will agree with me on that. I had one hairdresser that freaked out because she got a certificate because she was ranking up, and she was like, I've never had a pin before. Like, this is so exciting. And she was all crying and everything. Like, and then we've had like the fact that we don't have to carry inventory, the fact that we get bonuses. I was getting all these bonuses and I didn't know where the bonuses came from. And then on top of that, normally in hairdressing, and also many other businesses, it's a very catty environment. People are very competitive and they like to steal clients and whatever. And, people are pretty vicious. And I know that some people on the call here that I know personally, they work in employment environments where they're just not warm and fuzzy, right? This company, I've met lifelong friends. Like I know Aaron and we were gambling we had a $10 certificate. It's like, I feel like so bonded to you in terms of like your actual, like mindset and integrity. Like I really love that you share with all people across the company. You're not just doing this for your team, and we're the same way. And so that's why I really am appreciate and grateful to be connected to you. And yeah, there's so many
jump
benefits.
ahead. Let's go back to how did I get into this company? So Arlene started doing the Monate in 2016 in the summer. By the next year in March, she was too busy and she couldn't keep up to the work. And so we were trying to figure out how to balance things. And like, do we hire somebody to work with her? What do we do? And I was working too many hours at my job. I was working, up to 16 hours a day, some days, and not spending time at home with our daughter and Arlene. And so we basically said, okay, let's go all into our business. And that's what caused me to leave IT. And I've been out of IT for 5 years now, working for myself, which
it was
is
when
fantastic.
It was when I hit the car level, I hit the Cadillac level. We were the first drivers of the Cadillac for Monate in Vancouver. So that's when we were like, well, and on a sidebar, when you join a network marketing company, they'll say, make a dream list of the top 10 people you want to travel with. And he was not on my list. Like he literally shocked me when he came to me and presented and said, maybe I should join your team. And it blew me away, right? Because most wives you don't have supportive husbands and whatnot, right? So,
5 years we've been working together now. And now I'm
through
the one who takes,
right?
Through the pandemic,
in
I'm
a
the one
two-bedroom.
who never used to see our daughter. I get to drop her off for school, pick her up from school. I work during the day, fill in the times, like between it and doing Monate around my life as opposed to working to live.
Yeah, our life has changed.
Now I live and I work in between it. So.
It also, it's just like we're the only parents that are on all the field trips. We're the only couple that's available for every child experience. Truly, like it's really incredible. I would say that the reality is like before the pandemic, I was doing big trade shows and stuff, and I actually had retinal detachment in both eyes in 2018, and I literally almost went blind in both eyeballs. And when that happens and you can't see for 6 months, if I was working in a hair salon, I would have literally been in deep trouble. And because I had hustled so hard full time in the beginning, this business actually helped carry us through that period where I couldn't see. And then on top of that, we had a period where we lost some family members. And then there was another period where I fell down a staircase and I cracked my rib and hip, and I had 1st and 2nd degree burns on my arm. This is what the product company can do. This is my arm, literally. And the oil saved my arm. This is my arm today. And that was 1 month, right? So it's just a long story. It's helped grow our hair. Our daughter's hair is amazing. Like we just have so much proof that you can knock this company. If you're a skeptical person, I challenge you to ask any rep, or if you want to ask me a hairdressing question, you're more than welcome to, because we are bulletproof, right? Like it, and I will say, I have to add too that why I'm so skittish is because I actually am undiagnosed ADHD. Okay, so it will explain a lot to a lot of you as you're watching this and people who know me, but I've been had luxury of time to actually really dig deep into actual mental health, because when the pandemic hit, it affected everybody. And when you're working in a hair salon, I have the luxury of working in Monate, having the time freedom. I actually had some dear friends of mine who lost their technician to a job change. So they begged me to work in their salon. And that was 2 years ago. It was supposed to just hold them over until they found somebody. And they've only just found someone to replace me after 2 years because they couldn't find anybody. And so now I was doing 2 days a week. And as of next month, I'll be working 1 day a month. So for anybody who understands the magnitude of what that means as a hairdresser to choose to work 1 day a month as a blue collar worker is a tremendous thing when we live in one of the most expensive cities in the world, and we're right by the beach. And it's because of Monat that's given us so much time freedom and the luxury of quality time family together, that it's a slower build, after a pandemic, right? But we know that this company has the integrity and the science and the good people like Aaron and a whole bunch of other people on this call. So
when I joined the company and I was seeing this momentum, I didn't have the belief that we would be doing this 6 years from now.
Yeah.
I didn't have the belief that Monat would still be around and introduce products there. I was truly shocked. Like, I actually have goosebumps when I say it, because I didn't believe that this would be a source of income for such a long period of our lives. Like right now, I do not ever see it ending. With what Monat is doing, the decisions they make, the products they come out, how they stay competitive in all the areas that they're in,
and the support,
the
tribe. When they say tribe, it's like really at a supportive community of people, and that's why I guess we should kind of wrap it up, but it's like, it really has been an incredible gift to our family, and in our personal organization, we've helped literally thousands of people. So, that's why I'm okay with being in hate groups. I'm actually in hate groups, right? People don't like that I support this product line, and that's okay because they just don't know. And it's our job to educate. And I'm a patient person. Time is your friend, and it's really helped us over the years, in 6 years, that a lot of people are kind of going, okay, wait a second, you're not in jail. Your hair's still on your head.
Yeah, a lot of
right?
people had that skeptical impression at first, like, what's going on?
People have to look at the big picture of who the real shysters are in the market, but that's okay. We're here to help. So I hope that sort of answers the format of what you were asking us to share, Aaron.
Yeah, so I wanted to say a couple things because you guys have so much going on in your story that so many people can connect with, right? I mean, if you just let alone the story of somebody being a hairstylist and working behind the chair and growing outside of that to be able to build enough of a business. Like, if you think about it, the path for you from behind the chair, when you were behind the chair making over 6 figures, it was non-existent. You were going to be behind the chair. You were going to try to eke out as much retail sales from products, but you were really at the end of the day getting screwed by those manufacturers because they're out there competing with you in the stores. Yep. And you name it. They weren't in your back.
Yeah.
Well, they were stabbing you in the back maybe, but they weren't.
There's only a few companies that actually support the stylist success.
Yeah. Right? And so the reality is, with a stylist just on that route can change their equation so much with just how you can connect with your customers no matter where you live. When you're if today you remove to Spain, you could still have your customer base that you've already got here in the US.
And build in Spain too.
Right. And then
the other thing I wanted to add too is the salon that I work in, they don't like the direct sale business model as much. They don't understand it because they don't have the time, because they've been overwhelmed by pandemicness. But they sell a ton of retail. They don't do any of the business model, right?
Yeah. So no VIP.
Right. But I'll tell you what, they might sell a ton of retail, but they hold and if I don't know how connected you were with the operations of the entire business when you worked in the business world, but holding inventory is a bad thing in a business. Correct. You've got to turn your inventory as fast as possible. Otherwise it's burning money.
And it has a shelf life too.
And it has a shelf life. It's just piled on badness. The second part of this story that's amazing is really the bringing a husband into it in a way that now has become a supportive advocate of it, right? Maybe gone from skeptic to advocate. Not to mention the fact that his single best line in this whole presentation was, I live and work in between. I live my life and work in between. When that says so much, because when I was in the in the industry, in the corporate world working, I never even realized I was putting in, I just worked nonstop. I was easily 70, 80 hours a week. You know what I mean? I never even
Easily.
thought about it. I just got up at 6, was on the phone till 7, maybe some nighttime calls, always answering the texts, and all weekend long. And Roxy goes, do you know, you can leave work at noon on Friday because you've worked like 80 hours already this week. Like,
I've had that from her before too.
I could leave it at noon. That's a good call. So we would drive back from Canada to the US. But so it's a beautiful story, and it encompasses so much of the great things that Monate empowers people to change their life. You take stock, and that part of the reason we do these calls is because we want everybody on this call, regardless if you're on it now, watching in the future, take stock of your life. Ask yourself that question. What is the version? Is this the version of my life I signed up for? Where one person is working 80 hours a week and the other person's at home enjoying family, but really your family, you're doing it separate. Or do you have a different vision in mind? Write that vision down and then go after it as soon as possible. It's a risk-free proposition. You can get on board for $199 US, 230 something. I don't know what in Canada. Bottom line is it's super cheap to start a business. It's risk-free. And the worst thing that happens is you have incredible products and incredible hair, maybe incredible skin. Maybe you've done something in your pocketbook that you can't even begin to comprehend. So those are the reasons to join. Go ahead.
And the last thing I wanted to add, which was what we'd always like to stress, is that there's no monthly quotas or minimums, which means there's no pressure. Like monthly, most sales reps have quotas, right? So, and even hairdressers, some product lines, they make you have the minimums, right? And we have none. We have an annual renewal fee, which is like, realistic, like it's $65 in Canada, which is like to run a business. Yeah, $50 US. It's like, that is, it's unbelievable. And to work on a universal platform, which is what is the mind-blowing part, because not all direct sale companies do that. And so, it's like you say, risk-free. You can try it. You get the kit. You don't, if you find it's not for you, then you actually will get a refund.
Yeah. And so I just wanted to, first off, thank you guys for joining. I wish we could have met when I visited out in Vancouver. We could have probably bonded over our mutual careers. We have such a similar background, it's not even funny. And then I wanted to remind people, we are doing a drawing for a berry scrub. If you haven't used this product, it's pretty amazing. And I've got a couple of names. Is there any other guests? I've got Rhonda and Carolyn. So it's going to be a battle between the two of you guys.
Nice. There's a bunch of other people on the call I can see. There's
market partners as well. So any other guests? I'm going to assume that we're okay. And I got a 50-50 chance wheel here, guys. If I had another berry scrub, I would just give you away too, but I don't have another one in my stock. I'm sorry. Oh, I hate doing this. Oh. Rhonda wins.
Woo!
So congratulations, Rhonda. Can you get your...
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's very nice.
You'll love the product. Can you get me your information through your market partner and send me your address and all of that, and I'll send you out the berry scrub. Okay.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No problem. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining. I loved your story. I definitely plan to get back to Vancouver, and we'll make sure we check in with you guys when we get back out there.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
Thank you, everyone.
It was nice meeting you.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.